Let's face it, we live in a world where public Wi-Fi is practically essential. I mean, who can go an hour without checking their phone?
Right.
But what if I told you that this thing, this lifeline to staying connected, could actually be a huge security risk? That's what we're going to dig into today, something called evil twin Wi-Fi attacks. And no, it's not a sci-fi movie plot, it's a real thing. Picture this. You're at your favorite coffee shop, eager to connect, and boom, you see free Wi-Fi. Except it's not actually the coffee shop's network, it's a trap set up by a hacker. We're diving deep into an article from iFeeltech called Evil Twin Wi-Fi Attacks Explained. Stay safe with these tips. We're going to break it down and arm you with the knowledge to stay safe. So let's get right to it. What exactly are these evil twin attacks?
Okay, so picture this. You're at the airport, desperate for internet. You see free airport Wi-Fi, right? You think, yes, finally. But, and here's the catch, a hacker could be behind that seemingly innocent network, just waiting to capture everything you do online. It's like a digital trapdoor.
Okay, suddenly that free Wi-Fi doesn't sound so appealing. But how do they even create these fake networks? That sounds pretty high-tech, like something out of a movie.
You might be surprised. It's actually simpler than you think. They can do it with everyday devices, think laptops, even smartphones. There are also these specialized tools. One's called a Wi-Fi pineapple, and it lets them essentially clone a real network name and even make the signal stronger to trick your device.
Wait, a stronger signal? So are you saying our devices are kind of programmed to go for whatever seems, I don't know, the most legit, even if it's a fake?
Yeah, pretty much. Our devices constantly scan for networks we've used before, and a stronger signal usually means a better connection. These attackers, they exploit that, making their fake networks seem more appealing than the real deal.
That is seriously sneaky. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's say we fall for it. We connect to this evil twin. What happens then? What are we getting ourselves into?
Well, that's where things get a little scary. Once you're connected, they can potentially see everything you're doing. Logins, emails, credit card info, the works. They might even be able to install malware onto your device without you ever realizing it.
Okay, now I'm starting to get a little nervous. The article mentioned a case about this type of attack happening on an airplane in Australia.
Right. A passenger actually created an evil twin hotspot on the plane, targeting other passengers. Think about it. You're on a plane, you switch to airplane mode, and when you turn your Wi-Fi back on, your device might automatically try to connect to familiar networks you've used before, like the airport Wi-Fi.
So this wasn't even in a coffee shop. This was people trapped in the air thinking they're connecting to a safe network. And what happened?
Well, the attacker could have gotten away with tons of personal data, email logins, social media credentials, anything those passengers accessed. It was a major wake-up call that these attacks can happen anywhere, even when you think you're relatively safe.
This is really unsettling. But I think there are people out there who think this could never happen to me. So let's lay it all out. What are the real dangers here? What's the worst case scenario?
The fallout from an attack like this, it can be huge. I mean, we're talking identity theft, data breaches. Imagine someone has your logins, right? They can get into your accounts, pretend to be you, and just cause chaos.
So this isn't just about, like, someone changing my Netflix password. We're talking about, like, my whole online identity being compromised.
Exactly. We're talking fraudulent purchases, draining bank accounts, even applying for loans in your name, and that's just the beginning.
It's honestly kind of terrifying how much damage they can do with just a few logins. But let's talk about the financial risks beyond identity theft.
Right. Well, imagine this. You're connected to one of these rogue networks, and you think you're safely shopping online or checking your bank balance, but the whole time the attacker is right there, invisible, recording every single keystroke. Credit card details, logins, everything.
So even if I see that little padlock icon, the HTTPS in the address bar, it's not a guarantee.
Nope, not in this case. Think of it like sending a postcard with your credit card number written on it. Anyone along the way can read it.
Okay, that analogy paints a very clear picture. You mentioned malware earlier. Can we unpack that a bit? What are the long-term implications there?
Sure. Malware is nasty. Basically, while you're browsing, totally unaware, they could be installing spyware on your device. This spyware, it can track every keystroke you make, even after you've disconnected from that compromised network. Passwords, banking details, all of it vulnerable.
So it's not just about protecting ourselves in the moment. It's about preventing consequences that could affect us weeks, months, even years down the line.
Exactly. And it gets worse. Some malware is designed to spread to other devices on your home or work network. So one wrong click could lead to a domino effect of security breaches.
Okay, I officially can't sleep tonight. But rather than panic, let's talk solutions. What can we do to protect ourselves? What are some actionable steps?
Well, the good news is awareness is key. First and foremost, be cautious of unsecured public Wi-Fi. If it doesn't require a password or it's labeled unsecured, big red flag.
Makes sense. But aren't there situations where even password-protected networks could be risky?
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes those passwords are super easy to guess or even displayed publicly, like on a sign in a coffee shop. Don't let your guard down just because there's a password.
Good point. So let's say you absolutely have to use public Wi-Fi. Any precautions we can take?
Definitely. One simple thing is disabling the auto connect feature on your devices. We all love the convenience, but it's a security risk. You don't want your phone or laptop automatically connecting to every network in range.
That's such an easy fix that I feel like a lot of people overlook. What about using our mobile hotspot? Is that a safer option?
Generally, yes. Using your phone as a hotspot, if your mobile plan allows for it, gives you much more control over your connection, and it's typically more secure than public Wi-Fi.
Good to know. I'm guessing you're also going to recommend a VPN.
Always. A good VPN is essential. Think of it like this. It creates a secure tunnel for your data, encrypting your internet traffic. It makes it way harder for anyone to snoop on your information, even if you're on a compromised network.
When we're talking about VPNs for this specific type of protection, are there any features we should look out for?
For sure, you want a VPN with a strong track record for security. Look for a no-logs policy, meaning they don't keep records of your online activity. And a wide range of server locations is a plus. The more options, the better your chance of finding a fast and reliable connection.
Solid advice. Now, what about multi-factor authentication? I've been using that for a lot of my accounts. It feels like a game changer.
Absolutely. MFA is huge. It's like adding an extra layer of security to your accounts. So even if someone gets your password, they still need that second form of verification, like a code from a text message or fingerprint scan to actually get in.
So even if they snag your password from an evil twin, no dice, they still can't get into your accounts.
Exactly. It's a lifesaver. And don't forget about basic web sense. Always double check those URLs, especially when you're entering sensitive info, and make sure you see that HTTPS at the beginning. That S is for secure.
All great advice. But let's be real. Sometimes mistakes happen. What happens if, despite our best efforts, we think we might have fallen victim to one of these attacks? What should we do? Okay, so let's say the worst has happened. We ignored all the advice, connected to a shady network, and now we're in full panic mode. What's the first thing we should do?
All right, first, don't panic, but also don't ignore it. Like, step one, immediately disconnect from that Wi-Fi. Like, actually turn off your Wi-Fi completely, just to be safe.
Okay, so cut the cord. Got it. We're offline. What's next? Damage control.
Yeah, exactly. Time for a password overhaul. And I mean all your passwords. Start with the most important, your email, your bank accounts, social media, anything that's got sensitive info. And this time, make those passwords strong. None of that password 123 stuff.
No more using our pet's name for every single login then.
Definitely not. I'm talking at least 12 characters, mix of uppercase and lowercase, numbers, symbols, the whole 9 yards. The more complex your password is, the harder it is to crack.
Got it. Password overhaul check. Anything else?
Keep a close eye on all your accounts for anything that looks suspicious. Unauthorized login attempts, weird transactions, even emails you don't remember sending. Anything seems off, report it to your bank, your service provider right away.
So, channel our inner Sherlock Holmes. Trust our gut. What about reporting the actual attack itself? Should we do that?
Absolutely. Report it. Don't hesitate. Contact the authorities, your local police, a consumer protection agency. They might be able to help, maybe even track down the attacker. And every report helps build a case and hopefully prevents this from happening to someone else.
Okay, good to know we can fight back a little, even after the fact. This has been eye-opening, to say the least. Any final thoughts for our listeners before we wrap things up?
Well, here's something to think about. Our world is becoming more and more reliant on public Wi-Fi. So could we design systems that are just inherently more secure? What if there was a way to, verify a network is legit before our devices automatically jump in and connect? It's something for the tech world to ponder.
Yeah, it does seem like we're in this digital Wild West. But hopefully one day, public Wi-Fi won't feel like such a gamble.
Exactly. But until then, stay informed, stay vigilant, and stay safe out there.
Couldn't have said it better myself. A huge thank you to you for joining us and sharing your expertise. This was a really insightful dive into the world of evil twin attacks. And to all our listeners out there, we hope you found this episode informative. Knowledge is power, people. For a deeper dive into all the tips and strategies we talked about, check out the full article from iFeeltech. We'll drop the link in our episode description. And please, share this information. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell that person at the coffee shop about to connect to the free Wi-Fi without a second thought. Let's all do our part to make the online world a little bit safer. Until next time, stay curious.